Boardwalk here, loudandheavy.com, with Spencer, the lead vocalist of Ice Nine Kills. How you doing today?
Doing awesome. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. We personally saw you a few months ago, or actually probably 6 months ago now, when you were in town with Motionless in White for Beyond the Barricade tour. So
Yes.
it's actually really cool to now actually be able to see you guys in a headlining role rather than, you know, the opener. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you guys pretty much stole that show.
Oh, thank you.
When you were here at Ace of Spades. The energy you guys bring, second to none. I personally love the fact that you were willing to get in the crowd, participate with the crowd. You know, a lot of bands don't do that. They're a little more hands-off approach, come in, do your gig, and leave. Where you guys definitely seem to have a lot more there for you. So, I mean, how's it working for you being the headliner back out on the road here? Has the tour been going pretty well for you?
Yeah, we've been having a great time. We're out with a bunch of great new bands on Fearless Records, and couldn't really ask for too much more. Kids are coming out to the shows, buying merchandise, meeting tons of cool new people, and some old friends and fans. So it's been awesome.
Well, like I said, it's good to have you back in town. You know, as I said, part of the Fearless Records Fresh Faces tour. So, just a curiosity, like the bands you're bringing with you, are these bands you've played with before, or are these kind of bands you're all meeting for the first time?
These are bands that we're meeting for the first time. They're pretty much brand new bands that just got signed to the same label, and you know, we were pitched a bunch of bands from other labels and other stuff, and these ones just seemed like, you know, great bands, and they would match our sound really nicely, and it's been cool so far. Everyone's getting along, and we're liking all the music.
I must say, it's a great lineup. I've had a chance to kind of listen to a little snippets of the band so forth. Yeah, you guys all match really well. It's a really solid lineup, so definitely looking forward to getting there and seeing this firsthand. So besides being here as the headliner, doing your thing, you also have a new album coming out, Every Trick in the Book, which I gotta say, the 3 singles you've released so far, each one that comes out, you know, I have to be like, this might be like the best thing I've heard. And then the next one comes out and I'm like, all right, they proved me wrong, and then so forth.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Which I heard, so the album itself, based off of different literatures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where did that idea come from? I mean, are you just a big literature fan yourself, and this was something you wanted to do, or where did the idea come from?
The idea stemmed from the song that we released in between the last album we released, Predator Becomes a Prey, and Every Trick in the Book. We did a song called Me, Myself, and Hyde, which was based on the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. And the reaction from the fans was amazing, and it was just a really fun song to write. Because we were basing off something that was already a really compelling story, so it was up to us to add our own twist. So when the time came to figure out what we wanted to do with the new album, it just seemed kind of boring to just do the same thing and do a bunch of collection of songs that really aren't coherent, that don't really have anything to do with each other. So I thought, wow, this might be a cool idea to expand on. Let's try to do every song on this album about a different book. So that's where the idea stemmed from.
Yeah, so you got Jekyll and Hyde, which you got from the first one, and then Bloodbath and Beyond was Dracula, then Communion of the Curse, you got Exorcist. What other kind of stories you guys dive into?
We do one about Animal Farm, George Orwell's Animal Farm. We do one about Alive, the story of the Andes survivors, which is actually a true story about a rugby team in the 70s that crashed their plane into the Andes, and a lot of them died, but 16 of them ended up lasting for like months, eventually rescued. So that was a really cool one to do. We do one about Carrie, Stephen King's Carrie, Romeo and Juliet, a bunch of good stories, and yeah, we're just really excited to see the reaction to these new songs. We're very, very interested to see what kids think of it.
Well, if it's anything like the first 3 you put out there, this album's dialed in. It's definitely got to be one of the top of the year.
Thank you.
The hype is there. I mean, we're backing it fully at loudandheavy.com.
I saw that you guys posted some nice things about it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're loving it. So, you know, December can't get here fast enough for us. So kind of built off that album, like I said, Communion of the Curse, the Exorcist story, you guys just released a video for it, which was awesome in its own right. Very, you know, true to almost the movie and the story itself. No, I've noticed you personally, I mean, you kind of have pretty big. It's more of a, what's the word for it? But you really have a real good devotion towards like horror movies, the horror thing in general. So I mean, was this video along your lines? Was this your vision?
Yeah, I came up with it one night. I knew that we wanted to do a video before the album was released, and everyone at the label and as well as the band thought Community of the Curse would be a great one to do a video about. So I had it in my head that I always wanted to do an exorcism style video, even before the idea of doing a song about the Exorcist. So I thought, oh man, this could be amazing. And also, I don't know if anyone really picked up on it, but the grandfather reading the story to the kid is also a nod to the Princess Bride, which is not a horror movie, but it's a really funny movie where basically it's a grandfather reading a story to his sick grandson. So that's how I sort of tied that in. I knew I wanted it to take place on Halloween night. I knew I wanted to release it in October because that's just the perfect time to do a song like this. And it really came together quite quickly. I dreamed up the idea, wrote a little, little synopsis of how I wanted the video to go, sent it to our manager, who got in touch with Little Sky Films, who are unbelievable, and within 24 hours had a new version of it that they wrote up and shot for shot list, and then 10 days later we were filming it. So as a fan of film, and it's something I've always been interested in, to see an idea come about and then less than 2 weeks later see professional actors and a real production company putting this like a movie together was a really rewarding experience for me.
Yeah, that production quality on that video is amazing.
Yeah,
for music video standards, I mean, that sets the bar high.
Thank you. Yeah, they did an amazing job, and all the actors and actresses were just so on point. And I don't know, it's getting a great reaction. So I'm very, very happy about how it came out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have always put together good videos. I'm gonna give you that. I mean, even Animals, great video.
Thank you.
My little 5-year-old son watches that on YouTube on repeat.
That's great.
He thinks it's funny how you get beaten up by a dog.
Yeah, that scene's actually a nod to There's Something About Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did the Animals cover come about? Is that something you guys just were approached for, or is that?
We're always thinking in the back of our minds, because it's good to do cover songs and it gets kids into the band that might not know our material. So it's a nice sort of gateway drug for them into the band. And I'd never really been a huge Maroon 5 fan necessarily, but someone showed me the video to Animals, their video for it, and I was like, this is incredible, because the lyrics are something that I would write. They're very dark and sinister, and the video is bloody and almost like slasher, stalkerish kind of stuff. So it just worked perfectly. So I kind of brought the idea to everyone, and everyone liked it, and management liked it, and brought it to Fearless, and they were doing a reissue for Pop Goes Pop, the most recent one, and everyone just kind of loved the idea. I dreamed up the story very quickly. And it came together.
I dug it, that's for sure.